Hello and welcome to another Goblins of Wilt-Shire video. I'm your host Luke and this is another of my hobby vlogs. This is probably going to be my last hobby vlog of 2017 because it is now a week before Christmas and I don't think I'll be able to get much done from the end of this week up until the new year, to be honest. So I want to get everything you see here done, ready for Cheshire, which is less than a month away now. So it's getting closer and closer. So just a bit of progress. The Goblin Spearmen here, they have got all their colours on. They just need a wash and they will be done, I think. Don't need to do any highlights or anything. I don't think I did do on my last lot. So yeah, just literally put a wash or probably Agrax Earth Shade on and they're done. These guys still need some colour. So they've got the 5 shieldmen and then the captain here. Again, that shouldn't take too long. You need to have a good few hours to get them done. These two are well on their way now. So the bat swarm has now been assembled and sprayed. I've got some more sand on the base, just so it's not just a block. It should all fit in once it's been painted. Colour scheme for this guy. The base is obviously going to be the same as these guys. So just a grey, dry brush, lighter greys and a black rim. And I might go over all the bats with maybe a rhinox hide and just dry brush. Because you've got the fur on the actual bodies and you've got the wings, the membrane and the faces as well, which hopefully will show up a little bit better once there's paint on. You can just about see the one on the big one there. You got some smaller ones. So yeah, I think dry brushing is the way to go on this guy. Just because of it's an animal fur usually looks good when you dry brush. So probably yeah, Rhinox hide, Mornfang brown, Zandri dust, and probably like Steel Legion drab. Just a mixture of different browns, dark and light, just to create a bit of contrast. And then we've got the big bad boy, who is the Shadow Lord, but it's not the Shadow Lord. As you can see, he's all sprayed and ready to be painted. Done a bit of work on the base already. Actually like how it turned out. It's simple dry brushing technique, nothing too fancy. So I think once I pick out the high elf shields and swords and the broken spear, it should look really nice. I think that's literally going to be it. Just pick out those few pieces on the base and it's done. And in terms of this guy, again, dry brushing. Get an Eshin grey dry brush on first and then just pick out details. It shouldn't be too much work. Bit of work on the face, picking out the eyes and the tongue. There's a bit of focus. There we go. What are they called? The spines that go about down the side. They'll probably be a lighter grey. Same will be the sort of the membrane on the wings. I'll probably do that a little bit lighter. And then it's a case of picking out the veins, I think they would be, on the membrane themselves. So it shouldn't be too much work. And as I mentioned in the last video, he's not properly put together. The wings, you can see there's a gap. That's just placed on. Still waiting to get a magnet and drill and all that sort of stuff to magnetize the wings on, make it that much easier to transport. So yeah, that is what I need to get done, hopefully by the end of the week. So I'll come back hopefully when there's a bit of colour on everything and maybe when all of the goblins are done. And I am back with a fair bit of progress. Goblins pretty much done. Just got to do a Agrax Earthshade wash and these guys are pretty much done. I'll just show you the captain quickly because he's probably the most important. Get a bit of focus. There we go. The eyes have come out a little bit bigger than I'd hoped, but I'm hoping with the wash that it'll be dulled down a little bit, and if need be I will go back over with some of the flesh tone just to sort them out a little bit. But very easy, just literally picking out the skin, the tunic underneath. There's not too much on the captain models, a lot of it is armor, and then just the straps. So he was fairly easy, and the rest are done. So yeah, just to wash on those guys and they are done. So now I go on to the beastie side of it. I'll show you the bat swarm first. Base is done. Very simple. Greys, light greys, dry brushing. Just noticed as well, don't know if you can make it out, see if I can get a bit of focus going. Just there on the bottom, just by there, it looks like a skull actually. So I might go over that with a white dry brush just to bring out a bit more contrast and make that show as a skull. Did not notice that before, but there you go. So with the bats themselves, I'm just doing a Rhinox hide base coat. Plan is now to do a Morn Fang brown dry brush over all of it. So bring out a little bit of detail in the face and on the wing membranes and things. And actually on the membranes, on the wings themselves, I'll probably go over with another dry brush of Steel Legion drab, along with like the legs and the faces, just to create, get a bit more contrast, but pick out the detail on the bat faces and the bat bodies, just so it's not just a blob of colour. You can actually see the details and it looks like an actual bat. So that shouldn't take too long. Literally 2 more dry brushes, maybe pick out a few more details such as eyes, depending on if they are visible. Obviously on the bigger one here in the middle, it's probably quite easy, but then if we look at this little guy on the top, not so easy, but we shall see. So he will be done fairly soon. Next up, Felbeast. I'm holding it like this because I want to try and show you the base. So I just picked out some of the details. So the shield, actually let's put them down. So yeah, you got the shield, the sword and the broken spear. They've had base colour on. So I'll probably do a non-oil wash and then probably just go with a little bit of highlighting, especially on the shield because you've got a lot of detail on there. In terms of the Felbeast itself, wings gone. Actually good, actually I'll show you what I'm going to plan. So on everything I did a fairly liberal dry brush of Cheshire grey. That's the sort of colour I was looking for, which is not too dark but a little bit of contrast with the ringwraith there. So he's nice and black. Felbeast a little bit lighter. And on the wings you can obviously tell that the bones, or the actual, I don't know what you call these, they look, it's like a big hand, a wing is, isn't it? So these would be the fingers. They have been done as well on the dry brush, but in between, so the membranes, I plan on doing a dry brush of Stegodon Scale Green, I think it's called. So the same blue that is on the Goblins' hair, so dark blue. See how that turns out on the wings. Oh god, everything's going wrong. Oh, it's all come apart. Oh, never mind. But yeah, you can see the base a bit more better now. See the shield, spear and the sword. The wings, yeah, so the membranes I'm going to dry brush that dark blue and pick out it's like the veins in between, probably just a black really, or maybe Cheshire grey again. Don't want it too bright, too many different colours on it, keep it nice and dark. And then it's just picking out details on the face of the Felbeast. See if we can get a bit of focus. That's a little bit better. So yeah, the eye, the teeth, tongue, that's it for the face. Ringwraith, really easy. Probably may go with an Cheshire grey dry brush or highlights, and then picking out a bit of the armour and the sword, and that is pretty much it. Claws and spikes or scales, whatever, the spines, I might do in a lighter grey, so not completely white, but I will see. I might do a lighter grey, then maybe a fine white, just so it looks like the stone colours on here. I really like how they look as stones. I think as claws and scales and things, it might be a little bit too much of a contrast, but we shall see. So I'll probably come back when all of this is finished. I'm back in now for the final clip of 2017. This will be the final bit of video footage I do for the year, as I'm about to go away for Christmas and probably won't have time to do anything at all until 2018. So here we go. Giant bats, or bat swarm, I can't remember what they're called in the Moria list, are done, as well as the ringwraith. So I'll focus on the bats here for now. So as we can see, not a lot of work needed doing on them. So after the Rhinox hide base colour, I just dry brushed Mournfang Brown onto it, and then a Steel Legion Drab dry brush over sort of the raised areas. So we get a focus on the face. I just picked out the eyes in red and the teeth in white. Nice and simple, nothing too complicated. I'll show it from the other side as well. There we go. Yeah, so nothing too complicated. Didn't want to put too much contrast on there, keep it nice and dark. But I'm happy with the way it comes out, especially that big one in the middle. I think it looks really cool. So yeah, they can go with the goblins as well that are now finished at the back. Won't show them too much because they just had a wash and are as is. Fell Beast. So we can get a focus on the face. There we go, that's a better shot. It's not too bad. It looks better on camera, to be fair. It's a bit poor lighting just because it's a cloudy day out and I still haven't got a decent desk lamp. But yeah, the base, I think I showed you in the last clip, just literally picking out the details. And as for Fell Beast itself, the spines and the claws and things just went over in a dry brush of a lighter grey, and then I can't remember what shade it was, Pallid Witch Flesh I think it is, just a very light dry brush of that as well, bring out a bit of contrast. On the wings, if I come up from above, just about make out the purple veins. Decided to go for purple just because of, I did a purple tongue as well. Get a bit of focus. So yeah, the purple tongue, purple veins, why not? And I like the difference between the Eshin grey on the actual fleshy bit, the dry brush of the Stegodon Stale Green, I think it's called, on the membrane I really liked, and then again a bit more contrast with the purple veins. I think it looks really cool. The actual wraith itself didn't do too much, to be honest. Just blacked it out again, did a lead belcher on where it needs to be and a wash. Nothing too spectacular there, because the main focus of course is the Fell Beast. So this guy still needs his wings magnetized. Still haven't got a drill and magnets and things, but hopefully that will come and that won't be too much work to do. So there we go. I was going to do a whole army showcase of what I'm taking to Cheshire, but I can't bother to get the models out because there's too many of them. I think it turns out to be a 53 model army, and if it's just on this, my cutting mat is just going to look like a big mess. So keep it nice and simple for you guys. So that is it. That's my last hobby vlog of 2017. Hope you've enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the new year.